the more responsibility that you take for a client's change, the less responsibility they take for themselves, right? And so if, for example, like we're trying to do everything for them, we're actually making it less likely they're going to do it for themselves, right? We're kind of disempowering the client. There has to be a separation between what we're asking them to do and then they have to do the thing. And if they don't do the thing, that doesn't necessarily become our issue. But 100% we can help with behaviour change techniques, and we can help with some of the stuff that might help them to implement it. But at the end of the day, right, it's their responsibility. And I think sometimes as coaches, we actually want to overhelp. Most people here, we don't have the issue of underhelping, we have the issue of overhelping, right? And I just want to show why that is also an issue. So here is the drama triangle, right? And basically it talks about the relationships that we have between people and the dynamics that can be at play, okay? So there are three that this model outlines. Essentially, you've got the rescuer, I'll do that, let me help you. You have the victim, why is this happening to me? Why can't I do this? What's wrong with me? And then you have the persecutor, right? When it says drama triangle, this means it's like an unhealthy relationship that we can get into with people, right? So the persecutor is like, well, what were you thinking? Why didn't you give me the meal plan? Or you should have done this, or you should have done that, or whatever, right? And so we probably see our clients... Alexa, stop. We probably see our clients, different clients have been in different of these places, and then how we respond to that as well, right? So what tends to happen is that when we act as the rescuer, it keeps somebody as the victim, right? So the more that we're like, oh, we'll do that, we'll help you, and we'll come up with a solution, I'll get that over to you, the more it stops the person for thinking about themselves, and it more traps them into a victim mode. And when someone is in that victim mode, this is not my language, this is the drama triangle language, when somebody's in that victim mode, the more that we act as a rescuer, we're not doing them any help, we are keeping them stuck. And if you think of this also in terms of the avatars, this would be like the cautious trialist. And so then the more that we are basically over helping the cautious trialist, we're keeping them in that position, right? And so what we want to do really is we want to be really aware of this dynamic. So for example, when she's saying things like, I'm sorry, I'm such a challenging client, we can think we're being really kind by keep saying to the person, oh, you're not a challenging client. And we should do that to an extent, but at some point we have to realise that that is that person's challenge and not ours to take on, right? It's not our responsibility. It's that that person feels like they're being challenging, right? But by us going out of our way to tell them, no, you're not challenging, we're not helping that person. What would be more helpful is if the person was to say something like, I feel as though I'm being really challenging. I'm just looking for some reassurance, or am I asking too much? Right? That person is actually expressing a need, or they're actually asking the question, rather than kind of putting the responsibility on you to reassure them. Okay, so yes, we want to reassure the person, we want to soothe the person, but remembering that we can get stuck in this dynamic. Okay, so essentially then, there's this opposite of the drama triangle, which is the empowered triangle. You can find this online, right? If you're interested in this concept, you can look into this in more detail. It's a really popular idea. There's like books on it and everything. So rather than being the rescuer, we want to become the coach. So the coach doesn't try to go in and rescue the person. They don't try to come up with the solutions for the person. They don't try to like say, look, I'm gonna help you. Instead, what they say is, what do you think you can do, right? Or why do you think you're not taking that behaviour in this situation? Or what's stopping you from putting yourself first? Or what is one small step that you could do? Rather than telling them, doing that coaching role. The opposite of being a victim is being a creator. So that's when, rather than saying, why does this always happen to me? They create their own narrative, they create their own meaning, and they're able to move forward. And rather than being a persecutor that's like, it's your fault you did this, they're more of a challenger, like, hang on a minute, why is that way, right? It's a subtle difference, and you can kind of feel like this is probably like a quiet achiever, and this is like an optimizer, right? It's kind of like, so like the avatars, like really cool because you see it show up across different things. That's how I perceive it anyway. So yeah, hopefully that makes sense. What else have I got here, if anything else? Yeah, just have a little think then, like, I know as coaches, we want to help every single client with every single thing, but the reality of it is the more we are taking, like we're taking too much responsibility for some clients, right? It means that we don't have the energy and the time to do the things we need to do to move our business forward, but also to help the people that are doing really, really well, right? If we have a business filled up with people like this and we're giving all our energy to them, we're not going to have a successful business, okay? So we have to find that balance, and in no way am I saying that we shouldn't care or that we shouldn't help people. Of course we should, but we just have to have the boundary around it, okay? So let me know what you guys think.